Hi, I'm Rick at Rick Turns, and today's video is Hi, I'm Rick Morris. This is the Rick Turns channel, and my project for today is this nice chunk of magnolia. I've never had magnolia to turn before. I don't think I've even seen a piece of wood magnolia unless it was in a growing tree. So I'm going to take this and see what it looks like. We've got a big, apparently there was maybe a branch there. I'm not sure what that was. And then some kind of looks like a branch here, and maybe the trunk was going this way. It's not real clear. But you can see right in here, we've got some nice dark wood there, which I assume that's the heartwood, I guess. And look at it over here. There's a nice dark patch right in here. So it's probably going to look good. You can even see some swirling grain right through here. There's one swirl right here, and there's another one going right here. There's some more going right here. I don't know what this is going to look like when I'm finished, but it's looking pretty good right now. I'll set it a little bit to the mass of the wood, or the largest mass of the wood, which is right there. And of course, I want to do this perpendicular to this face. That looks about right, I think. As I've said, I have never had magnolia to turn before. So this is going to be a bit of a trek into the unknown for me. Just like Star Trek. Scotty, set the transporter for the Powermatic 3520B.
Captain, I do not think the transporter can be focused that close. You may end up scrambled.
Bones, what do you think?
I'm a Dr. Jim, not a glorified mechanic.
Mr. Scott, this is an emergency. I will have to take the risk. Energize. Well, this is just great. This never happened to Captain Kirk. Got my screw center mounted in my one-way stronghold chuck, 400mm jaws here. 100mm jaws here, about 4 inches. And so now I'm going to spin on the workpiece. I'm going to lock the spindle there and finish it up by hand. Well, it's all by hand, but anyway. So get on my dust mask and my helmet, and I'm ready to go.
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
Starting off with a 5/8 inch bowl gouge. And now I've got my marking tool set for half the distance from the center point of the 100mm jaws. So I'm just going to use this to mark off the cutting point for my recess. I'm down close to ½ an inch there. At about 970 RPM. I'm switching to a scraper. because it's very difficult to use that gouge without blocking the picture. The scraper makes it a lot easier. This is a Thompson T gauge. Tompkins T gauge. Sorry about that, Tompkins. Okay. So I'm right at 1 1/4 inches there. Okay. I think I'm fairly good with a 1-inch sidewall and a 1-inch bottom now. So it's time to get this set up in the drying box. I've got my super sophisticated, highly expensive drying box here. You'll find some links to my drying box videos, how I made it and how I use it, in the show notes. But as you can see, I spared no expense to make this the perfect drying box. Here we go. Plug in the fan, you can see it running right there, and switch on the light. Now my bowl blank here has been in the drying box for 7 days, so it's lost a pound and 5 ounces, something like that. In metric, it started out at 29.45 grams and it's down to 23.05 grams, so it lost something like 600 grams. All right, I'm gonna make a quick check here of the moisture content in the shop. Reading about 9.5%. On the bowl here, let's see what this is. Measure it right here, and I've got 12.8%. So it's still higher than ambient moisture content, but I'm not getting much weight loss from day to day. So I'm going to stop drying it and start turning it again. Before I get going, I want to check this piece more thoroughly for cracks or anything that might cause it to break up during turning. So computer, scan and analyze the workpiece. Is it going to self-destruct?
Calibration is locked and normal. Diagnostic underway.
Computer?
Warning. Self-destruct sequence has been initiated. Warp core overload
Wait,
in 4
stop!
minutes,
I
55
didn't order
seconds.
self-destruct sequence.
1 minute to auto-destruct.
Computer, abort that.
Please specify how you would like to proceed, sir.
Cancel program.
Self-destruct sequence has been terminated.
Now, would you kindly answer my original question?
Warning. The structural integrity field has collapsed.
Okay, I give up. I'm ready to go. That's right at 900 RPM. Not bad. Alright, first thing to do is just to even it up inside here. Then I got to do a good bit of thinning there. Right now the sides are about 1 inch thick. Well, once again, I'm going to resort to a scraper on the interior. because when I use that gouge, it really messes up the camera angles if I can use it correctly. Five eighths, 7/8. Got a good ways to go. Okay, looking pretty good. I think it's time to start sanding. Sanding is all done on this piece. It's looking pretty good. We're about to put on the finish and we'll find out. I'm going to try something new for this bowl. I've never used this before. This is Mahoney's Finishes Utility Finish, which is walnut oil. I typically prefer a varnish finish because I like a shiny finish. I know a lot of wood turners prefer an oil finish because it's a more natural woodsy look. But I'm going to try this out, probably a couple of coats of this. The instructions on the back say, of course, it's a completely natural finish and it is non-toxic, food safe. Wipe on liberally with a soft cloth or paper towel. Okay, so right off the hand I see a problem here. If I were a Republican, I could not wipe this on liberally. All right, but fortunately, I'm not a Republican. So I am going to wipe a coat of this on, and then I'm going to wet sand it with the oil, and then I'll let it sit for a few hours, probably overnight because it's late in the afternoon now. And then I'll put another coat on tomorrow or maybe even later tonight. And then when that's dried, I'll take it over to the buffer and put on probably carnauba wax. All right. Incidentally, this is sold on Amazon. I forget the exact price. It wasn't a tremendous amount, probably more than boiled linseed oil. Yeah, for the very first coat, it's really easier just to not do it with a lathe on at all. There's definitely a couple of advantages to this oil finish, and one, of course, is that it's non-toxic and food safe. Definitely food safe. The other would be that presumably it's going to dry fairly quickly. I don't really know that since this is my first time I've used it. It's tomorrow. The finish looks good. It's got kind of a soft luster to it. I don't think I'm gonna put on any more of the walnut oil there because it looks really good just like it is. It's got some really nice looking grain right through here, coming through there. So I think it's ready to come off of the chuck, and I'll finish up the bottom. Finished sanding the bottom. I took it over to my buffer and I buffed it with carnauba wax, and it's really turned out pretty well. It's a very soft shine, which you get with oil, and walnut oil in this case, as I showed you. Got a really nice knot here. It's a beautiful grain right here through the knot. Of course, with that knot there, I'm not going to be using it for a soup bowl. So, Mr. Chekhov, plot a course for Nebula 1424. Mr. Sulu, warp factor 9. See you next video.